Hi team, it is Irony 13. At this point you should have done your warm-up, and if you didn't take the time to do that, practice right, pause now, go back and do that. I'll wait, it's fine. Okay, great. Now that your warm-up is perfected, you can go ahead and use these last couple days of review for Irony, because Wednesday is going to be a quiz. If you have not been taking notes, now is the time to pull out a scrap of paper, open up a notepad in your phone, grab your favorite trusted notebook, and make sure that you have notes down, because as you know, once you submit a Google form, you cannot go back and you cannot look at the notes that are in Google form, but you might want them for Wednesday's quiz. So if you haven't been taking notes, I just really suggest that now is the time. Anyways, so notes for today, really plain simple and just reminders. Irony is the difference between what we would expect to happen and what actually does happen. 3 different types. Situational, that's the most basic type. Like when the police station gets robbed, you wouldn't expect that the people who arrest people who rob stores to be the ones who get robbed. It's opposite of what you would expect in their efforts. So that is situational. Verbal is when someone says opposite of what they mean. So that means they can be doing one of 2 things. They are exaggerating the situation, or they are downplaying the situation, making it seem like not as bad as it is, or making it seem worse than it is if they're exaggerating. Sarcasm can be both exaggeratory and it can be downplaying. However, it might not be sarcastic and it could be an exaggeration or a downplay. Okay, so sarcasm is not exclusive to verbal irony, or sarcasm is exclusive to verbal irony. If they're being sarcastic, it is some sort of verbal irony. However, verbal irony is not exclusive to sarcasm, and it can be other things besides sarcasm, okay? And then last, dramatic irony, when you and I know something that the characters don't know, and we get to laugh about how they don't know things. Basically when the audience or the reader knows things that the characters do not, which then creates interest and suspense. Go ahead and I'm going to pause here, and you can go ahead and do your check for understanding. Go ahead and use what I said, back it up, or listen to my Jeopardy music while you do that. I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, if you need more time than that, which is fine if you do, just go ahead and hit pause. I'm not going to play that much Jeopardy music and make it take 12 years to upload to YouTube. Anyways, after you do your check for understanding, now we are at my example. Here is our example paragraph for today. As soon as Davari heard that the math test was going to be worth 30% of his grade, he began studying. He studied in class, he studied on the bus ride home, he even tried to study while walking home from the bus, but stopped after bumping into a lamppost. When he got home, he didn't watch any TV because he was studying so intensely. He completed the study guide that Miss Gratz gave him, and then he completed one that he had made himself. Davari refused to quit. Lots of grit there. He stayed awake all night. He stayed awake all night finding and completing extra problems on the internet. By the time the sun rose, Davari had mastered the content. As he entered the classroom, he felt prepared. He sharpened his pencil, sat at his desk, put his head down, fell asleep, and failed his math test. Or failed his test. I also don't teach math, but it doesn't say math on there. I don't know why I said that. Maybe that's like some inner nightmare I have. Part A. Which statement best describes the irony in the situation above? A. Davari knew how important the test was and he put in the work. B. Davari worked very hard to prepare for his test, but his efforts exhausted him and he fell asleep. C. Davari didn't put in the work, but he was surprised to earn a good grade. D. Davari learned a lesson about how hard work pays off. So if I go through this answer choice by answer choice. A. Davari knew how important the test was and put in the work. That is a true statement, but it's more of a gist, like a half gist. It doesn't even say the ending of what happened. It's more of a gist statement than an actual description of the irony that was happening. So I'm going to eliminate A. If we look at D, Davari learned a lesson about how hard work pays off. I wouldn't say that he actually learned that lesson because he ended up falling asleep at the end and therefore he failed, even though he put in all the hard work to be able to pass. It would have been nice if that was his lesson that he learned, but it is not actually what happened. It's a contradiction. So D is incorrect. So we have B and C left. C, Davari didn't put in the work and was surprised to earn a good grade. Well, it says at the end that he failed his test, so he didn't earn a good grade. So that's contradictory. And it says he didn't put in the work, but we know that Davari showed a lot of grit. It just had an unfortunate ending. So we can eliminate C. Let's check B. Davari worked very hard to prepare for his test. Yes, we saw that. But his efforts exhausted him and he fell asleep before he could pass the test. So we're going to check this one to see if it's correct. So irony being opposite of what you would expect. You would expect he put in all the hard work, therefore he gets to pass. What is ironic about the situation is that he put in all the hard work, and because he put in the hard work and he was up late, he was so tired that he fell asleep before he could take the test. It's the opposite of what you would expect. It is irony. B is correct for part A. Now, what type of irony is this situation? Is it dramatic? Did we know something that Davari didn't? Is it verbal? Did Davari or another character say something that was opposite of what they meant? Or C, situational, the character's efforts produced the opposite of what they meant. Dramatic is incorrect, so you can eliminate A because we know everything that Davari does in this situation. There was actually no dialogue, so we can automatically get rid of verbal. Situational, when the character's efforts produce opposite of what they mean, that is Davari in this case. So go ahead and select situational, C. Next, you just have three different paragraphs with a part A and B to practice, and then you have a clip from The Big Bang Theory showing one of my favorite types of irony and showing it actually being used in multiple ways. So it's going to ask you to decide which type of irony it is and then explain it. And I wrote the hint, there's only one type of irony, but it's presented in two different ways. If that's confusing to you, pause this, go back and listen to my notes at the beginning. That will probably help you. Also, that question is worth more points than just the regular multiple choice. So make sure you put in the work on that explain part so that way you don't miss out on any points. Then do your Lexia for the day and have a great day. Yep, as always, if you need anything. So what's the sitch? Maybe if you want to reach me. Okay, just had to do that once. Maybe I'll do it again. I don't know. By the way, the code for today is avocados. Avocados. Text me avocados. Okay, great. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.